Well, it started when I was singing. I loved to sing, and I used to be humming and singing all the time. And that's when it started. I would sing, and all of a sudden, everything would go, and I couldn't go on.
I have a tickle in one's throat, and then it gets higher and higher, and it's a problem for me to breathe.
It's really just a spontaneous urge to cough. That seems to be the predominant thing for me. Occasionally I have the sense that something blocking my back of my throat or there's some sort of slight irritation.
Ja, die Problematik ist dabei, dass man plötzlich husten muss. Es hat angefangen mit Hustenanfällen beim Telefonieren, beim Autofahren. Da habe ich eventuell gedacht, es ist die Klimaanlage. War nicht allergisch, bin ich auch nicht.
My mother had a cough, and sadly my son has a cough. I have 10 grandchildren, so I dread the thought that one of them might develop this persistent cough. Well, it has been thought that possibly my cough was genetic, but I don't think anything has ever really come of that. But it certainly does seem to be a feature in my family.
It gives me a sore throat. I sometimes get a pain across my ribs, which I'm sure is due to just constant coughing. Physically, sometimes I have a very violent coughing fit and I can cough myself physically off my feet. And then sometimes there's a sense that you're straining your stomach muscles when you cough. It's a really tight grip on you. And occasionally a desire to vomit. You know, if there's a lot of mucus, it can make me physically want to be sick.
And suddenly it explodes. And when I say it explodes, it's overwhelming. It takes over. I'm coughing up mucus, my nose is running, my eyes are running, my ears feel choked up, my chest feels tight and painful. For perhaps 2 or 3 minutes, I'm unable to do anything because it is all-consuming.
It's a sort of a sense of exhaustion sometimes, you know, that coughing is a bit draining.
Because I choke and I even vomit. And all the pressure goes to my head and things start turning around. And what I'm afraid of most of the time is that pressure increasing in my head when I cough. And I'm afraid to have a stroke.
I have had times when I've felt really depressed and cried, really, because especially on a night when you're up coughing and everyone else is asleep, or there's nothing you can do, nothing seems to stop it.
Going on to a social thing, you're not sure if you're going to cough. And I'm not embarrassed around friends or people I know because I'm very upfront about telling people I've got a cough. And if I do think I'm going to cough in a very, in a social occasion, I'll just take myself into a corner and have a private cough. So.
Ja, man schämt sich, man traut sich nicht ins Kino zu gehen oder Theater schon gar nicht, weil das wäre ja verheerend. Ja, und das Ganze, das macht schon ein bisschen traurig. Man weiß nicht, was das ist. Kollegen fragen, was hast du denn? Bist du erkältet? Was ist denn los mit dir? Ja. Und das im Sommer, im Winter, egal von Wetter. Während der Arbeitszeit war es auch nicht sehr prickelnd, denn die Kollegen, die fragen auch, was ist denn los? Willst du uns anstecken oder ja, warum bleibst du denn nicht zu Hause?
And I suppose the COVID, during the sort of height of COVID, when people looked at you aghast as if you were carrying disease.
I'd rather excuse myself and say I'm not contagious than prevent myself from going to places and seeing things.
Socialising I found very difficult. You're constantly wondering, am I going to cough? Will I cough now? So it's not very easy to put yourself in situations where you don't know people and they don't know you. It's just a constant thing that you kind of carry it with you, really.
It can be triggered by almost anything, but most particularly by strong smells, perfumes, chemicals, dust, a change in environment, changing from one warm atmosphere into a cold or vice versa. But often it can be triggered by nothing that I can possibly see.
The triggers of my cough are so numerous now, really. I can't pin them down, and often I can just start coughing when there doesn't appear to be any trigger at all.
And it can be provoked by very numerous things like talking, being on the phone, bending, laughing, drinking.
Temperature changes, very specifically going from cold to hot, or blasts of air. And also when I'm very focused, I don't seem to cough when I'm very, very focused. It seems to be when I stop and I change my physical position and then I cough. Cooking is a problem because steam from cooking, opening an oven door where steam, hot air and steam blast out. So smoke and fumes make me cough. And some foods, particularly dried food.
Ist ja immer in der Angst, wann kommt der Husten. Das kommt immer unerwartet, also hat man immer eine kleine Flasche mit einem Getränk dabei. Oft hatte ich auch Kamillentee dabei, weil da hatte ich das Gefühl, dass Kamillentee hilft. Ja, dann immer wieder Wasser im Auto, in der Handtasche und ja.
I mean, I tend to take cough sweets with me because I do find they moisten my mouth more. I don't find drinking water helps with me. I do try and relax as well if I do go to a show or a cinema. I can get myself in a sort of state where I'm just relaxed, and that does help.
A specialist that I saw at the beginning said I should take some Tic Tacs, which are a strong mint. So sometimes I have a nice whiskey to calm the stuff.
If I have a cough attack, I will breathe slow, and then it's okay. Sometimes it helps when I feel this, that it will come to drink something. Fluid is okay. And for the night, I will have cough syrup. And I think it's more for the brain. If I had this, then it's okay for me for the complete night. And I do not have this cough for the complete night.
So them really listening and them really understanding is the key thing with family and friends, and them not showing frustration and irritation when you start coughing. It's not always helpful for people to be saying to you, do this or do that, because I've lived with it long enough to know what probably I should be doing, if that's going to make any difference, which doesn't normally.
I have other friends who are just constantly asking me, have you still got that cough? As if there's going to be some sort of time when I don't have it. And no matter how many times you say chronic cough and explain, it seems if you don't, because you don't sometimes see some friends for a while and they still think, oh, you've got that cough. And then it becomes part of the conversation, which I don't really want. I think the best way you can help people with a cough is understand it, accept it, and just, unless they want to talk about it, I just wouldn't bring it up, really.